Welcome back to Junior Small B News there, friends. Good to have you. Thanks for stopping by. It's been an interesting weekend, hasn't it? You most likely saw my video that I did on the Cyprus bailout, and one viewer immediately brought up a point that I didn't learn till even after making the video in discussing the event with some friends, and that was the fact that there was a deposit tax or a bailout tax attached to the Cyprus bailout. Very interesting word, or pair of words: deposit tax, bailout tax. It's amazing how they can attach a word like that to something. It's actually theft. When you take something that doesn't rightfully belong to you from another person without their permission, through force or any means, it's called theft. That's the definition of thievery. Theft. Okay? So, for those of you that might not know the details, Cyprus was having some financial troubles, as most nations in Europe are having. They declared a bank holiday last week, and they're extending it. Well, it was going to be extended through Tuesday or Wednesday of this week. I slashed that out because now they're extending it till Thursday, which means the banks are closed. They call it a bank holiday, and isn't that an interesting word? What holiday are they celebrating? What holiday is it? It's not one. It's just they're closed, and they skip town with your money, and you can't come get it yet. Okay, they attach all these little friendly, nice words like bailout tax or deposit tax and holiday to things because they don't want to say they skipped town and stole your money. That's really what it is. Very interesting. So the holiday has been extended till Thursday. Now what they did is anyone who had deposits of 100,000 euro, they took 9.9%, I believe it was, right off the top. Imagine someone walking into your house and taking 9% of all of your things, 9% of your savings. That's what they did. If anyone had less than 100,000 euro, they took 6.6%, I believe it was, from their accounts. And I'm going to pose a question to you, and you could answer it in the comments if you would be so kind. I'd like to ask you what the difference is between the bank taking 9% of people's savings, or 6% of people's savings, or a man walking into a bank with a gun. And he says, hey, I want 9% of everyone's savings in this bank. I want 9%. And they give it to him and he walks out. Well, the difference is the bank is, I guess, allowed to do so because they're in the pockets of the governments most of the time, or the government's in the pockets of the bank, and they have force on their side. I don't know when people around the world are going to realize that this type of action is inexcusable and there is no justification for it. I don't want to hear the words greater good. I don't want to hear the words, if we don't, threats that if this isn't done, then there will be turmoil or riots in the streets or blood in the streets. They always use that excuse. That's what they did with the bailouts that we had here in America, TARP, and all of that theft that took place and the destruction of the U.S. currency. And goodness. So this is the first time during the 5-year global credit crunch that depositors were forced to pay up front for their nation's bailout. Okay. And another interesting fact is this is the longest emergency bank holiday in Europe or North America since World War II. This is going to probably set off a bank run in the EU. If you're a depositor, if you're watching this and you live in Europe, and you can understand the English that I'm speaking right now, you need to go to your bank and pull all of your money out. 100% of your euros out of the bank immediately before they do this to you. Pull your money out, go buy gold, go buy some silver, keep enough cash on hand, paper, fiat, garbage. Okay, keep that on hand to pay your bills and buy your food, but go buy some real money. Go get yourself some silver. Go get yourself some gold. Okay, you gotta wake up. It's not, you can't risk having it happen again, what happened in 2007, 2008, as close as we got. So this is the biggest headline of the week. I told you gold was going to break 1,600 on Monday. I had to go to work, so I couldn't make any videos that day and keep everyone up to date and try to keep taking care of things. But I made that video on the weekend, and sure enough, anyone could see the signs. Gold was going to blow up. It was going to start going up again. We saw the bottom in gold. The EU's back in crisis mode. They're back in panic mode. Everyone there's broke. They're bailing each other out. They're stealing the people's money now. You know it's bad when they're stealing money from the very people who give the lifeblood to the economy and the nation of which those banks and those financial institutions originate. They're almost like a parasitic disease, and now they are killing the host. These corrupted financial institutions and banks are a disease process, and they're killing their host, which is us, we, the people. And it's disgusting, and people tolerate it. We don't have an antibody to fight it. There's no one on our behalf defending us against these banks, these mega financial institutions. You have speakers for them like Krugman, who's basically like their Goebbels. He's their speaker box, justifying everything they do and all their Keynesian methods. Anyways, we don't want to get too off base here, but very troubling. The wording, the semantics, everything about it. Anyways, let's go to, could gold be the next LIBOR scandal? I touched on this. There's a very interesting article in The Guardian, UK. For years, people have been talking about could gold, be manipulated, the gold and silver markets, etc. Well, I would encourage everyone to go to The Guardian and read this article on could gold be the next LIBOR scandal, because some details in there about, and things that you can even learn on how they determine the gold price every day, how these 5 or so banks have a phone conference and then basically discuss how many bars they're selling, how many they're buying, and just, decide what the gold price will be that day based on talking to each other. So, interesting. And they're looking into it. It's being looked into. Okay? So, gold topped 16.10 an ounce. Got some charts here I printed off just this morning. If you can take a look at that real quick. That was gold about 20 minutes ago, up 590, 1611.70. Nice little spike there for the day. Got silver up to 29.01. And there's the US dollar, 82.80. One day people will look back at this video perhaps and be like, wow, look how high the dollar was back then, 82. And then these guys will be much higher than this, and they'll be like, why didn't people buy gold and silver back then when they could get it for 16.11 and 29.01? It's on sale right now, because the more of these things they print off, the more of this stuff they make all around the globe. The more of that chases the fixed amount of this, the higher the price of this is going to go, and the less valuable this stuff's going to get. The fundamentals haven't changed. Okay, the financial system is still deteriorating. And they're just trying to paper over the problem all around the world. Whether it's Malaysia, whether it's Korea, whether it's America, whether it's Europe. So, appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for joining the conversation. Appreciating all the feedback. Got another video coming up where we are going to review, just to remind everybody, so look for it, the history of the meltdown. What happened several years ago? How did it happen, kinda? And are we forgetting what happened? Are we that amnesic? Do we have that short of an attention span to where now we're just going to pick up and go on and accumulate debt, buy useless things, and go about our daily lives as if everything is fine and dandy when indeed it's not? I'd encourage all of you to keep reading, keep focusing, keep saving, keep working, doing what you can to set yourselves up and prepare for any financial instability that's going to happen. This isn't really the theme of the channel, however, this is relevant because it's news. And it is happening. We're not going to put our heads in the sand like ostriches. And I don't want any of us to suffer from the normalcy bias. and believe that just because it hasn't happened, it won't and cannot happen, because there is no rule or law in the universe that says if situation A has not happened, then situation A cannot happen and will never happen. There's nothing that says that. That's not a rule of the universe. There's a first time for everything, and if anything, this isn't a first time event. This is just a repeat of, with different characters playing the parts in different locations and different sets. But it's happened before. It's just theft, wealth relocation, power restructuring. It's economics, which is basically, I think all of us would agree, economics and resources are pretty much the reason and basis for everything, as far as government, war, struggle, and a lot of the afflictions that affect the human condition and all of us here on Earth. So let's not get too deep, but appreciate you guys being here. Food for thought. Hope you had a good breakfast, a good cup of coffee, and don't forget to stop by and view the next one. And if you are one of the decimal 0.000000000001% that's still watching this video, I personally would like to thank you, because it's good to have someone there listening and let me vent too. And it's a good conversation to have with all you guys. I appreciate the comments. Stop by again. Take care.